Hey everyone, welcome back to Creekside Homestead, Alaska. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, so I want to get some appetizers prepped beforehand so that I'm not doing everything on the day of Thanksgiving. So today I'm going to be using all sourdough recipes for my appetizers. I'm going to be doing pretzel bites because that was requested by just about everyone in the family. Sean's going to come in and make his beer cheese dip to go along with that. And then I'm also going to make crackers. I'm going to make rosemary sea salt crackers, which is not ahead of time recipe, but it only takes like 15 minutes to bake. So I'm going to make that for you today so that if you want, you can make those on the day of Thanksgiving. And then the other one I'm going to make is sausage rolls with my, using my sourdough pizza crust. So they're all fairly easy to make. They do take a little bit of time because it is sourdough. You can do those and then put the dough in the oven overnight and prep the next day. But we're gonna start with the pretzel bites. And that is just using, as you can see in front of you, flour, my sourdough, which is very happy right now, some melted butter, some warm water. Make sure you use warm water so you can activate that sourdough, some sea salt and some brown sugar. And that's it for the pretzel bites. So we're gonna start with our sourdough. Now, normally I weigh stuff out. This is a really, really easy recipe, so I'm not gonna weigh this one out. I will the pizza. But if you're weighing it out, I guess about 100 grams of starter. And you're gonna need 1 1/3 cup of warm water. Sorry, 1 1/4 cup of warm water, which is about 300 grams if you're doing it that way. And we're just gonna whisk that in there. It is definitely one of my favorite utensils. And they are super cheap. I'll link it. I got mine off Amazon if you're interested. All right, that's nice and stirred up. Then we're just gonna add the rest of our ingredients, which is, we'll do the flour first. How much flour? 4. So we're gonna add 4 3/4 cups of flour. Looks like about 3/4 cup. And then 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. You can use regular sugar too. I just like that molasses flavor. Sugar, 4 tablespoons of butter. I use unsalted. If you have salted, then omit the salt. And then 1 tablespoon of salt. I use sea salt. If you use regular iodized salt, I would start out with probably half. I don't use it. I don't even know if we have any. I just use this all the time. And then we're just gonna give that a quick stir. And then I'm gonna get it on the stand mixer, and it's gonna knead for roughly about 8 minutes. I'm gonna get this, like I said, on the stand mixer. It's gonna knead, then I'm gonna get it in a, cover it, and it's gonna should sit for about 6 hours until it's doubled in size. But that just all depends on how active your sourdough starter is. So it could take anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, even up to 10 hours. Mine is super active, so I'm only expecting it to take about 4 to 6 hours. Okay, it's been exactly 8 minutes, and this looks absolutely perfect. Now, I'm just going to stick this in a bowl, get it covered with my handy dandy proofing cap, and then see my other videos, you know I have a proofing setting on my oven. So I'm going to get that in there. It's going to sit in there for about 4 to 6 hours. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the sausage cream cheese rolls. And I'm using my pizza dough recipe. So we're going to start with, again, our sourdough. I'm probably going to use all of it up in this one. So you're going to need about 225 grams, which roughly should be about 1 cup. I have not made these before, so I'm actually pretty excited about this one. I've been wanting to make them for a long time, but I figure this would be the perfect time to do it. All right, now we're going to add our warm water, about 3/4 cup or 170 grams. Give that a quick stir. And then as you can see, all that's left to do is add salt, flour, and olive oil. All right, so there's that. And then we're just gonna add, our flour, which is 2.5 cups. And 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay, we're gonna put this on the stand mixer. It's gonna go about 5 minutes. All right, it's been 5 minutes. That looks perfect. It's perfect. So we're just gonna let this sit out on my counter for now until it doubles in size. All right, final appetizer. Sourdough crackers. This is so easy to make. So easy. 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of, I'm using discard for this because I mean, they're crackers. I don't want them to double and rise with an active sourdough. So I'm gonna use my discard. All right, and to that, we're just gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. One teaspoon of dried rosemary. I say 1 teaspoon, but put however much you want in there. If you like more rosemary flavor, add more rosemary. I think I'm gonna save and top it with some rosemary, so I'll just keep it at that roughly 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Actually, that's way too much. I'm gonna do half a teaspoon. I don't want it to overpower. That's a lot of garlic. Yeah, half teaspoon. And 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Now, if you want to top your crackers with a little salt afterwards, maybe only do half a teaspoon in there. Again, this is so, I mean, you don't have to put the rosemary and garlic in there. You can do Parmesan crackers. This is just what I want to do for Thanksgiving. Get this out of the way. And then you're just gonna stir that up. Probably gonna have to switch to your hands. But you just want to get that all mixed up until you don't see anymore. I could put this in the mixer and let it do the work, but I've got my pizza dough. All right, that's all there is to it. It's just going to form a pretty stiff dough that we're going to roll out. Put this stuff away, or at least back here. And then let me grab my parchment paper. Okay, so I've just got a cutting board out. And I'm going to roll this out onto some parchment paper, and then I'm just going to put this parchment paper straight on the cookie sheet. And my oven is preheated to 350. It smells so good. Just going to flatten that out so it's a little easier to roll. And you just roll them out. I would do mine like, I don't know, 1/4 inch. This dough is really stiff. I'm gonna let this sit and relax for just about 5 minutes, just so it's a tiny bit easier to roll. I mean, I don't want it super soft, but I want a little bit better than that. And these are going to be really rustic. These are not going to be, you know, perfectly square, all of them. But they are so good. Okay, yeah, we're going to let that sit for about 5 minutes while I clean up. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. Much better. Okay, that looks really good. That looks thin enough. Set this, get my cookie sheet, and I'm just gonna, don't drop the dough, whatever you do, like I almost did. All right, we're gonna get that. I'm gonna just take the back of my butter knife and I'm gonna score it into how big I want these crackers. And then when these are done, after they completely cool, then you can break them into those pieces. And then now, I'm just going to brush them with a little bit of olive oil. Just lightly, lightly, lightly. You don't want them to get crispy. And then this is where if you want to sprinkle a little bit more salt on there, you can. I'm just going to put a little bit more rosemary on top. Number one, it makes them look really pretty. That's it. I might put a touch of salt on there. A bit too much. that is it for those crackers. All right, those are gonna go in the oven for about 18 to 22 minutes. I'm gonna set my timer for 18 and start checking them then. If you did them super, super, super thin, I would start checking them at around 15 minutes. Okay. Those look really good. Those actually took about 30 minutes. So I could have rolled them out even thinner to make them that much more crispy, but these are fine. I'm just gonna let them sit on this cookie sheet until they completely cooled. Then we'll break them up and have them ready for tonight. All right, so these have all cooled off. Hopefully you guys can see that. And they look great. All right, so our sausage pinwheel dough is ready to roll out. And it looks great, doubled. And now we're just gonna roll it out into a rectangle. I'm gonna probably roll it out fairly thin because we're gonna let this sit again after we slice them up, fill them and slice them up. It's gonna sit again and rise. So I don't want them to be super, super doughy. Gosh, this looks really good. Okay. And it should roll very easily. You shouldn't have any trouble whatsoever. Oh yeah, perfect. Make sure you have enough flour in there so it doesn't stick to your board when you go to roll it up. Yeah. Okay. So now for our filling. I'm gonna fill mine with some, I've got cream cheese, I already browned up some breakfast sausage. You can use Italian sausage, you can use ham and cheese, veggies, anything that you want to fill these with. So I've got that. I've got some shredded mixed, I think it's the Mexican blend, some garlic powder or granulated garlic, and some smoked paprika. So I think I'm going to start off, and I'm just totally improvising this. I just thought this would all go well together. I'm just going to sprinkle some paprika on the bottom here. So I'm going to start with cream cheese. Now I put my cream cheese in the microwave for just a few seconds just to make it easier to spread. Probably have a little bit too much sausage here, but we'll see. Maybe not. I cannot wait to try these. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle some garlic powder. I'm not gonna put a ton of garlic or granulated garlic on here because I don't want it to overpower that. Then we're just going to roll her up. I should probably put that down a little farther. Okay. I'm going to try to get mine a little tight. And then end piece is going to be nothing but dough, but that's okay. We'll probably just cut that off. And then I'm just bringing it up and pinching it so it seals. Okay, that looks great. Now, I'm just gonna put a little bit of flour on top here, make it a little easier. Now we're gonna slice it. And I've got just a mat here, silicone mat on my cookie tray. And I'm just slicing it. I don't want to push down too much. And then I'm just going to put those like that. All right, so I've got those all sliced up, and now I'm just going to let these sit for, cover them and let them sit for about 30 minutes just on the counter here. All right, while that is rising, we're going to move on to our pretzel bites. We're going to get them formed up. I'm going to be rolling these out into logs, I guess, and then cutting them into little bites just because it goes a lot farther since we're having quite a few people over. Well, family, I think there's going to be 10 of us. And the littles absolutely love these things. And you just roll them out until they're the size that you want. Now remember, these are going to rise again for another hour, so they're going to get bigger. I just put some parchment paper on there, and I don't know, I guess these are probably about an inch. So one of those, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 14 pieces out of just that one log, and I've got 8 of them. So it makes a lot if you have a lot of people. And the great thing about this is once I bake them, now these still have to go in a water bath, but once they get done and cooled off, they freeze really, really well. So that's why I'm doing this now. It's one thing off my plate when it comes to Thanksgiving dinner. And you want to space these, again, because they're going to rise up some more. So you want to space them to where they don't touch after they rise. Now on Thanksgiving morning, or probably afternoon, right before everybody gets here, I'll just pop these back in the oven just to get them warmed up. They'll only need probably about 10 minutes. I had to go get another baking sheet. They're all being used. I forgot Sean's got my other one making bacon on. All right, those are all cut up. And I'm just gonna cover these with a tea towel. All right, we're just gonna finish up with these sausage cream cheese pinwheels. Hopefully they turn out to be pinwheels. So I've got my oven preheating to 350. So while we're waiting on that, I'm just gonna brush a little bit of melted butter on the dough that's exposed. I think that just will help it turn more of a golden brown. They smell really, really good already. And these should freeze really well too after we cook them. So that's my plan, letting them cool completely, popping them in a bag, and sticking them in the freezer until Thanksgiving. I try wherever I can around the holidays is just to do as much prep in advance as possible. It just makes it that much easier, and it allows me to spend more time with my family. All right, those are all ready to pop into the oven. Should be able to get those on the same. So those are going to go in for about 15 minutes. I'm going to check them at the 15-minute mark and see if they need to go a little farther. All right, these are done. Now, ended up taking about 25 minutes for those, but they look good. They look really good. They smell really good. All right, so we're just gonna let these completely cool in the pan. And then, like I said, these are for Thanksgiving. So I'll be sticking these in a freezer bag, putting them in the freezer, and then we'll just warm them back up on Thanksgiving Day. And as soon as they get to where I could taste them, we're gonna try one today. Okay, we are going to finish up with our pretzel bites here. They've been sitting for about an hour, and they are ready to go in this boiling water. So in this pot, I just have some baking soda that I put in there. It helps give the pretzels their chew, bite, flavor, whatever. So, where's my thing? I'm gonna put, I don't want this rolling, so I'm gonna turn it down to about medium. So I'm just gonna plop probably, I don't know, since they're bites and not pretzels, we can get quite a few in there. And these are gonna go in just for about 20 seconds. Pretzels, I would do about 30 to 45, the actual whole pretzels. But these, basically just plopping them in there and bringing them right back out. And then I'm just gonna put them right back on the same pan. You wanna work fairly quickly and don't make sure you get them separated right away. You don't want them gooping together. All right, that pan is done. Now, I've got so many trays here and I don't have enough, I won't have enough room in my oven for all of this. So I'm just gonna work on these 2 trays right now, and then when those are done cooking, then I'll do this last one. All right, so those are done. Now I'm gonna do, it's just an egg wash, a little egg mixed with some water. I'm gonna brush each one of these, sprinkle them with salt, I just have the sea salt. I don't have that coarse like pretzel salt. So because these are pretzel bites, they're going to go in the oven. They're only going to take about 8 to 10 minutes. Whereas the actual, if you were to make pretzels instead of pretzel bites, it'd be 12 to 15 minutes. And my oven is set to 425. All right, these are done, and we already did a taste test.
Very good.
And they are very, very good. So now I'm turning over the kitchen somewhat reluctantly. If you've seen Sean in the kitchen before, you know why I say that. But I'm going to turn it over to him so he can do the beer cheese dip.
Well, kitchen's mine, I guess. I don't know what she's talking about. I never make a mess in here. But anyway, beer cheese soup, or dip. It's a me thing, I guess. Because it has beer, maybe? I don't know. But first thing we got to do is make a quick roux. So basically, I got to melt this butter first. So anyway, 4 tablespoons of butter and a 1/4 cup of flour. And then just get it going until it's bubbly, I guess. Takes a cup of milk. Half a cup of beer.
Taste that first to make sure that you think it would taste good in there.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and save the rest of this. Let's see. Got a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Oh, that's about right. Garlic powder. Need garlic powder. Need a half teaspoon of that. 1/4 teaspoon of onion stuff. I mean, is that even enough to taste it? 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Half a teaspoon of salt. Like I said, this is pretty simple. Not a lot. That's Dijon mustard. That's good. Now we're just melting the cheese in here. I'm thirsty.
It might need just a touch of beer.
I say that early.
I know you want to drink that. Oh, but what?
I said you need to say that early.
Oh,
before the beer's all gone. Well, the consensus says we're in good shape.
hold on. Taste test.
Oh yeah, we need to taste it with one of these pretzel bites. Oh yeah. That'll be a hit.
The kids?
The sourdough is way better. Anyway, that's it. That's my part. That's my...
Well, we'll just close her up. But these are the pretzel bites. Got our crackers. Better when they're warm.
Well, I mean, it's got sausage in it. How bad can it be, right? Oh, wow.
Good, huh?
Man, that could be breakfast. Oh, that's good.
And you can switch those up too. I think I'm going to make another batch and put ham and cheese in it.
That wouldn't be near as good if it wasn't for the sourdough.
I know. But those are...
That's really good.
I already tasted it.
You already tasted it, right?
That's
All right.
good. All right, y'all. That's it. Easy appetizers that you can make in advance, so you're not cooking all day, and you can spend more time with the fam. Thanks for
Most
watching.
important thing.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank y'all.